Hello, storytellers. Welcome to Storytelling Tarot. My name is Jeida K, and I am so glad that you're with me today. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Get comfortable. You're home now. Kick off your shoes, relax. We're so glad that you're with us today. And if you are family and you've been here with me for a while, welcome back, my love. I'm so glad that you're here too. Let's all get cozy because we have so much to talk about today. We are going to be getting into the goodness and the powerful energy of 2024. If you've been here a while, then you know that 2023 was the year of the Chariot and what I personally called the year of journeying home to the self. Our inner selves, our creative selves, our most authentic selves. It was truly a year of alignment and a lot of forward progression, a lot of speed, but also I encouraged us to engage in ease as well as we move forward. This was very much so a year about progress, not perfection. This year, we are in the energy of the Strength card. And it's a year that I am calling the year of compassionate self-mastery. We will all be faced with various challenges and achievements that will help us locate, hone, and exercise both our personal and our collective power. We will also find ourselves confronting power dynamics where we've been made to feel, or perhaps we've made others feel very small. In the year of the Strength card, we are now placing a demand, and we're not afraid to get loud about our discomfort and about our demands and expectations. Change is afoot. And you know, strength is more than just bravado and confidence and force. It's also vulnerability. It's also rage that's ancestral, right? Strength is the need to move on. It's perseverance. It's not backing down from anyone who challenges us, because we know the reason why our roar is so loud is because we have a reason. We have things to say and we will be heard. The rage is beyond ancestral rage. It's also personal rage. It's also communal rage. And it's all of the emotions that are bubbling to the surface so that we can now demand a peaceable life. We're pushing back against current conditions because we want to see change for real. Which brings me to compassion. If we're talking about compassionate self-mastery, then we must first define what compassion is. And I was actually blown away when I recently looked up this definition in the dictionary. And I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially, compassion is strong sympathy for someone who is going through misfortune of any type, but it's accompanied by the strong desire to alleviate that person's suffering. And so we talk about self-compassion and it being something that moves us into action. It's not just a feeling. It's not just a reason to pity someone or to pity yourself. It moves you. It enacts change. And so sympathy can move you. Rage can move you. Sadness can move you. Joy and pleasure, they can move you. And we must be affected by the current conditions of our life, of our heart, of our spirits, because that is how we begin to get into the active part of compassion, when we begin to alleviate that suffering so that we can begin to live a life that we know we deserve and desire. We won't back down. And in 2024, this is your chance to move into that life that you dream for yourself and for your community. It's not just about one, it's about all of us. But wait, there's more. I said that this is the year of compassionate self-mastery. So let's talk about this self-mastery. When I think about that, I think about the Eight of Pentacles. They have gotten away from town and they've gone to focus on this one particular thing, this one particular craft, right? And they are chiseling away. They're chiseling away. And I think about like how they're literally minding the business that pays them. This is important because every time that person is beating that pentacle, they're learning about themselves. They're learning about their art. They're learning about their ancestors. They're learning about who they are, how they love, their community. There's more. Their spirituality. They're learning about their journey to healing. They're learning more. And as we are coming out of the year of 2023, which is about journeying home to the self, now what we're doing is that now that we're here, right? Now that we have gotten to this place of wholeness, as we're learning more about ourselves, what we want to do in our careers and in our relationship and out in the world, now we start to make some serious progress. Now we master the craft. Now, when I think of the word master, I think that there's a connotation that comes up with that word. Mastering feels like domination and control, right? And so when I'm saying master yourself, I'm not saying to control yourself or to dominate yourself. And although the Eight of Pentacles does speak to, focus. When I say self-mastery, I think about the way that a musician masters their instrument. Now, if you think about it, your favorite band member or maybe your favorite player in an orchestra, they picked up that instrument for the first time one day. There was a time where they knew nothing about that instrument. They didn't know anything about the chords and the notes that it could play. It was just an instrument. And they picked it up one day and began to learn. Now, I think of us as that instrument. Our life, our gifts, our wholeness, and our essence. We are like that untouched violin or guitar or piano or harp. And in that instrument is already capable of making beautiful music. Already completely untouched. It is up to the musician to learn how to pull those strings or how to play those keys. And so self-mastery actually becomes collaboration. It actually becomes teamwork. It becomes integration. And so when I say that this is the year that we are being compassionate in mastering ourselves, what we're actually doing is collaborating with all of the ancestors, with all of the spirit guides, with all of the versions of ourselves to pick up this instrument that is our lives, that is our business, that is our relationships, that is whatever it is that you are focused on and excited about for 2024. You pick that up and know that already in the form that it's in is potential, is beautiful music. You, my friend, just have to learn how to play it. And so this year, that's what you'll be doing. So what are the things that I expect for you in 2024? On a global level and energetically, we are in the energy of an 8. 2024 is an 8 year. So these are the things that I would associate with the number 8. Some things that you might see happening in your life this year. So when it comes to your relationships, I believe that there's going to be first of all, a lot of new beginnings in general. 8 has that beautiful shape that looks like an infinity sign. And so there's going to be a lot of cycles and things that are repeating, which I kind of hinted to because we just came out of the year of journeying home to the self. And so now we are in this self-mastery. And so, when I think about the Eight of Pentacles, I think about doing something over and over again. I think about revision. I think about doing revising your life. That is something that is revision is something that the author K.C. Lehman speaks about often. I'll try to link that book and those thoughts below for you. In the essay called What We Owe and Are Owed, Lehman writes, "In my own sloppy work, on and off the page, I was beginning to understand revision as a dynamic practice of revisitation, premised on ethically reimagining the ingredients, scope, and primary audience of one's initial vision. Revision required witnessing and testifying. Witnessing and testifying required rigorous attempts at remembering and imagining. If revision was not God, revision was everything every God ever asked of believers." And see, I believe that. Absolutely 100%. And so that is what I mean by cycles for the year of 2024. We're going to be revising, we're going to be revisiting, we're going to be imagining and reimagining. And so that means that I want you in your relationships to be open to how you can expand what you thought could be. I already spoke a little bit about dynamics changing in relationships as we're having to open ourselves up and be more transparent and vulnerable and release control that is suffocating. And so in our relationships, I sense, and I guess I could say I predict that there's going to be a lot of pivots and changes, and that we're going to become more attuned to our own desires and needs and start moving in that direction, right? We're going to have that strength to move on and move up. Now, this doesn't mean that a lot of people are going to be breaking up. What I do mean is for those who are not willing to face themselves in the year of strength or in the year of compassionate self-mastery, then they may have to go on their own journey. But I believe that there's going to be a lot of redemptive cycles as well. So there will be a lot of changes, beautiful changes happening in relationships. And I really love that. When it comes to careers, business is going to be booming in a new way. Like things are going to be super busy, lots of communication and travel. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to connect with people. A lot of people are going to be very magnetic. And so this is your year. If you have something to say it loudly, because your voices, all of our voices are being amplified this year. So we should not let that go to waste. If you have something to say it loud and say it proud. When it comes to work, there's absolutely going to be a lot of us studying this year. So lots of people returning to school who probably haven't been in a while. There may be people picking up new trades and new crafts, learning different things and being interested in different industries, dipping your toe into something else. Because as we are in this year of self-mastery, I think that we're going to allow ourselves to be more creative than we've ever been. And so a lot of times they may mean we are revisiting younger versions of ourselves and in other tasks and dreams that we had. And in other cases, we are actually like expanding and having brand new dreams altogether. Either way, it's super exciting. And I think it's going to be a great time for all of us. The only thing that I will warn against is for us to be mindful of any self-limiting thoughts or doubts or beliefs that would keep us from standing in our true power, for standing in our collective power, and really shining and making the most of this energy. The 8 energy is very fast. The momentum is strong and it's just infectious, magnetic. It's really busy, but it's really like it is, the energy is it's like even hard for me to even describe. It's magical. That's the only word that I have, but I think that it's fitting. And so while I do think that this may be a challenging year for some things, especially on a global scale, with all of the atrocities that are already happening in the world, I also think that the voices and the power of the people will be loud and strong as well. And so that energy is going to be like singing, reverberating, inside of us all. So what are we going to do with that? Of course, for some of us, being in our power may be brand new. And so I can understand the temptation or the desire to kind of shrink. But that's why we remember that there are power in numbers. So do you remember the scene in The Lion King when Simba let out that little, that pipsqueak of a roar trying to scare off the hyenas? And do you remember what happened when Mufasa showed up? We could hear what Simba's roar would sound like with more power. And so sometimes you just have to open your mouth, and the people who support you and love you will come in and do the rest. That includes your ancestors. That includes your spirit guides. That includes your angels. That includes you. You showing up for yourself is going to be the most powerful work that you can do this year. All right, my loves. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful 2024. We'll see you soon.